My name is Kimberly Coleman, and I will be doing this session on self-management today. The reason why I was given this session was in response to a question about time management. I actually don't believe that time management exists. We are not sorcerers like Doctor Strange or super beings like Wanda of WandaVision. We cannot manage time. However, we can manage ourselves. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. For my talk, I'm going to use the acronym CPR. The C stands for clarity of vision, the P stands for planned actions, and the R stands for resilient attitude. I hope that you find this talk helpful. I will be in the comments so you can ask any questions. Thank you, and I'll talk with you soon.
Since self-management is the real issue, it's important to focus on the things that we can control. Even the word control isn't 100% accurate. If nothing else, 2020 taught us that we don't really control much. So let's reword my presentation title. Self-management. Focus on the things that you can powerfully influence. As I mentioned, my name is Kimberly Coleman. As the sign that I'm holding in the picture states, I support women who march to the beat of their own drum. I am here today because I enjoy helping moms make their lives less difficult and more fun. Like many of you, I juggle many roles. I'm a wife to an amazing public high school math teacher, a remote schooling mom to two wonderful, bright teen sons, a daughter to two fun-loving parents, a work-from-home professional content creator, a volunteer leader at my church, and so much more. I like acronyms, so I'll be discussing self-management CPR. I really believe that self-management can be a quality of life saver, especially for parents who work from home. Many of us are doing our paid work while taking on more home and family responsibilities since many of our kids are distance learning. It can be a lot, both mentally and physically. I hope that these 3 self-management CPR strategies will help to bring more joy and peace into your lives as work from home parents. The C is in CPR is for clarity of vision. A question that I like to ask to both others and myself when we are unhappy with certain areas of life is, what do you want? It really is a discipline to train ourselves to focus on what we want instead of what we don't want. One of my all-time favorite quotes is from William Shakespeare because it's so relevant. This above all, to thine own self be true. It must follow as the night the day. Thou canst not then be false to any man. It's a powerful reminder to listen to our inner voices when making life choices. In order to get clear about what we want our lives to be like, it's important to ask the right questions. In the notes for this class, I'll include several different question prompts. For now, I'll stick to a couple of questions for you to consider. First of all, what is my priority? By definition, there can only be one thing that comes first. The etymology of the word priority defines the word as the fact or condition of coming first in importance or requiring immediate attention, being regarded as more important than another or others. After determining your priority, it's also good to ask, what are the next most important areas of my life? What else is important to me? One of the most important things to remember is that your priorities and what's important to you doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. You're asking yourself, what do you want? Not what others want or think that you should want. Instead, pay attention to both your head and your heart. The first set of action steps is write down your top priority and up to 2 other areas of life that are important for you to focus on right now. And write out what you want in each of those areas. For me, physical fitness is my 2021 priority because it was the only area that I didn't hit my 2020 goals. In the notes for this session, I will share how I practically apply the next 2 action step areas for my 2021 priority. The P in CPR stands for planned actions. Planning our actions allows us to break down our vision into bite-sized goals. Keep it simple. Decide what daily or weekly actions that you are willing to commit to in order to make progress towards making your vision a reality. Remember that you almost always have a choice regarding the things that you do. So take ownership of your choices and plan accordingly. If something aligns with your vision, then include it. If it doesn't, then strongly consider whether it should be a yes or no as you plan your week. Whenever you say yes to a commitment, just realize that you're saying no to something else. Your choices make a difference, so make good ones. It really takes courage to live according to our plans. This can be especially challenging for people pleasers. If that's your reality, get help with setting boundaries, either from someone in your personal circle or a professional. As entrepreneur trainer Fabian Fredrickson says, speak up when something isn't working for you, even when it's the people you think you are obligated to please. In the session notes, I'm going to be sharing my weekly planning routine in detail. Basically, I do a brain dump of everything that I can think of that needs to get accomplished for the week. I first schedule calendar items like business meetings or doctor's appointments and the like. Then I go through the rest of the list and use what I call my D system: do, dump, delegate, or defer, based on my current priority and what's important to me. I don't just decide what I'm going to do, but I also plan when I'm going to do it. With advances in technology, I have also added automate as an option. I just can't think of a synonym for automate that starts with the D. The second set of action steps: write down planned daily or weekly actions for the areas of life that you wrote down in the prior action steps. And most importantly, do what you plan. Planning is not enough. You actually have to do it. The R in CPR stands for resilient attitude. According to the American Psychological Association, resilience is the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or significant sources of stress. The good news is that we can learn how to build and improve this valuable skill. Resilience is like a muscle. It can grow if we cultivate it. As humans, we can learn to adapt and adjust to challenges and disruption. Focusing on what we can control or powerfully influence helps to strengthen a resilient attitude. Even in challenging situations, we can be proactive by considering different options and solutions. We can learn tools to manage and to problem solve. It's okay to struggle. We don't have to be strong and perfectly self managed at all times. That is unrealistic. We're not robots. We can acknowledge our emotions and still not allow them to control us and prevent us from going after our goals. Resilience is essential because there are limits to our vision and plans. For instance, think about it. We're almost into a full year of pandemic living. There have been unprecedented disruptions to our daily lives. Many of our children are remote learning, either part time or full time. Many of us have lost a lot: experiences, childcare, jobs, income, health, and even loved ones due to COVID-19. In addition, as parents, we have concerns about our kids' emotional, social, and academic health. While resilience allows us to eventually bounce back even stronger than before, it's so important that we give ourselves and others abundant grace. I'll end by sharing that remembering my why is the number one thing that helps me to be resilient. I became a work from home mom so that I could be available time wise for my sons while still helping to provide financially for my family. I'm very grateful that I have been able to do both for the past 15 plus years. I can't believe my oldest is going to be a senior this year. Well, everyone has a different why. Figure out yours and keep it at the forefront of your mind. I also recommend having it written down somewhere visible. That visual reminder provides encouragement. on the most challenging days. The action steps for this session: develop a resiliency plan for the areas of life that you wrote down in the first section, and clearly define your why. Anticipate the challenges and disruptions. They're going to come. And so plan how you will respond. I hope that you found this brief talk helpful. I could go on and on about the topic, but I'm limited to 10 minutes. You can find my notes from this talk along with links to some of my favorite self-management resources and a free 50-page remote schooling moms ebook at mominthecity.com/self-management. You can also connect with me directly at kcoleman@mominthecity.com. Thank you for your time and attention.